All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Good evening and welcome to the September 19th, 2024 meeting of the Minnetonka Planning Commission. The Commission generally holds meetings on the first and third Thursdays of the month. The schedule and tentative agendas can be obtained by calling the Planning Department or by checking the city website at minnetonkamn.gov. The Commission holds public hearings on land use applications. From a specific process standpoint, that means we make recommendations to the City Council on rezonings, subdivisions, conditional use permits, and amendments to the city's comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, and subdivision regulations. We also make final decisions on site plans, signs requests, and variance requests, unless these requests are part of an application that must be heard by the City Council. In that case, the Commission makes a recommendation and the Council makes the final decision. The City notifies property owners within at least 400 feet of the sites, posts signs on the properties, and places notices in the Lakeshore Weekly News and the Minnetonka Memo. Any aggrieved party may appeal a final Planning Commission decision to the City Council. If you wish to appeal, you must submit a written request to the City within 10 days of this meeting. From a broader standpoint, the City's comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, and subdivision regulations are the City's best efforts to codify a balance between individual rights and community responsibilities. Individual rights are easy to understand. Community responsibilities are more subtle, but the idea is that we, as members of the community, agree to limit our individual rights for the common good of the group. The Planning Department, the Planning Commission, and the City Council are charged with managing the sometimes difficult balancing act. We ask you keep this broad perspective in mind as we review tonight's applications. Again, welcome. Staff, please call roll.
Henry.
Here.
Maxwell. Here. Minion. Nope,
Here.
that's okay. Minion is here. Waterman.
Here.
Banks.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Chair Sewell.
Here. All seven of us are seated here tonight. Next is approval of the agenda, and I believe there's a change memo.
Yes, Chair. We have one item that we'd like to add to your agenda. It's a slight amendment to your bylaws, and I can talk about that as item 9A, other business.
Great, thank you. Recognizing the change memo, would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion, Chair.
Motion Maxwell.
I'll second the motion.
Second Henry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is approval of minutes from the September 5th, 2024 meeting. Commissioners, any changes to those minutes? All right, then I will take a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Let's see, motion Waterman.
I'll second.
Second Henry. Sorry. Minion.
Second.
All right. Minion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is Rotzi, report from staff.
Chair and Commissioners, a few items to report on. The City Council met on September 9th. There was just one planning-related item on that agenda, and that was the concept plan review for the Marsh Run 3 townhome concept. The Council, I would suggest, like some of the comments you had, thought that the buildings themselves were attractive, but the vast majority of the Council just felt that there were too many units, too dense. There's a lack of green space, a lack of amenity. They felt the setbacks were too tight. So the proverbial ball is back in the applicant's court to see what they would like to do with those comments and where they go from there. An update to the Planning Commission on a project you had reviewed previously, the Les Schwab Tire Center, if you remember that, just north of the Northern Tool. That had come before this body in July. Staff had recommended denial of that project. The Planning Commission had recommended denial. It went to the Council and was tabled at that time. It was set to come back to the Council. They had amended their plan ever so slightly. Staff was still recommending denial of the project, and ultimately they chose to simply withdraw their application as of 2 days ago. So if people were planning on coming to the Council meeting on September the 23rd, anyone that's watching, we have posted that withdrawal to our website. So I wanted to update you on that, and my last update is that your next meeting is scheduled for October the 10th.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, anything to report? Doesn't look like. I actually have a quick question, Ms. Thomas. Will the council be notified of the change of them pulling their application?
Yes, in fact, it is not, Chair Sewell. It was pulled before the agenda even went out, the packet went out to the council, but I'm sure that City Manager Funk will notify the council members.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, next is consent agenda items. These are items that are routine in nature and will be passed with one motion. And let's see, the item on, unless someone would like to pull the item, we can have a full discussion. The item on tonight's consent agenda is site plan review for a parking lot expansion at 11501 KTEL Drive. And it's the recommendation is to adopt the resolution approving the proposal. And Commissioner Minion, did you have a question on this one? Ms. Thomas kind of gave me a little heads up. So,
I'd just like to know more about the biofiltration. I really like this project. I think it's going to help that wetland that's nearby, and I just kind of want to learn a little bit more about the biofiltration.
Yeah, Chair Sewell and Commissioner Minion, I did have an opportunity to speak with the city engineer, having received the question from Commissioner Minion. So this is a parking lot, kind of a pavement of an existing parking lot. We don't have any storm sewer or storm water treatment right now. So from an engineering perspective, this is actually an improvement to the existing condition. The biofiltration basin is intended just as stormwater management. So if there were an illicit discharge of some kind from this industrial property, petroleum, something else from the industrial property, there would be a whole nother process, an illicit discharge process that would have to be gone through, as would have to be on any other property in our community. But the city engineer is not only confident in the biofiltration basin for stormwater purposes, but glad to see it, quite frankly, in an area that we didn't have previously.
great. And maybe you can connect Commissioner Minion with the city engineer if he has more specific questions and just wants to understand how it works. Not that you're not an
Absolutely.
expert on biofiltration.
I am
Ms. Thomas.
absolutely not an expert, and I would be happy to pass along your question and your direct contact, Commissioner Minion.
If that works, if you're still curious. So, okay, great. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, I think we're ready for a motion. Would someone like to make a motion to adopt the resolution approving the proposal?
Chair, if I may, technically, you should
you're right.
open the public hearing, just
Okay.
technically.
Yep. Thank you. No one's going to pull it. I'll open the public hearing if anyone would like to offer a comment. Sorry, I was just on a roll. Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Now, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. Now would someone like to make a motion approving this item?
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion Minion.
I'll second.
Second Waterman. Staff, please poll the commission.
Henry,
Yes.
Maxwell,
Yes.
Minion,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Banks,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Chair Sewell.
Yes, motion carries. This is a final decision subject to appeal within 10 days of this meeting and ready. All right, next is non-consent agenda items, and we have none. And then moving on to other business, item 9, amendment to the Planning Commission bylaws. And the recommendation is to adopt the amendments.
Chair Sewell and Commissioners, we have a minor amendment that we're proposing to your bylaws this evening. This time of the year, staff from all of the different departments starts working on the public meeting calendar for 2025. It's this wild, colorful calendar that we have to sit down and jigsaw puzzle together for all of the various commissions. In each of your bylaws, you have a very specific start time for your meetings of 6:30. The City Council, I understand, is considering perhaps a different start time for meetings, a little bit earlier or a little bit later. I'm not sure exactly, but just to allow for that potential different start time, and also to, quite frankly, allow for different start times that we've already had, like for our tour when we have a different start time. We would like to eliminate that specific 6:30 start time and simply reference the official city calendar in your bylaws. So that's the change. That's what you have before you, and we would recommend that you approve that bylaw change.
So there's no imminent plan to make a change to the time, you're just offering the flexibility if the time changes. We're still planning a meeting at 6:30.
Chair Sewell, to my knowledge, I do think, though, that the City Council is considering that change to 6 o'clock. And if they were to change that, then all of the commissions would also be changing. But I can't
Yeah.
confirm that. And that change would not happen until January 2025.
25. Okay. All right. Great. So,
Chair, I could add that 2 days ago in the Sustainability Commission with Julie, we agreed and we voted that we would change the start time to 6 p.m.
oh, okay. Well, there we go. A little foreshadowing. Sounds good. All right, commissioners, any comments?
Well, just
yeah,
to
Commissioner Banks.
be on that. So is that specific 6:30 or is it more in line with the language here?
No, it was specifically we would start at 6 p.m. every
Okay.
time.
So this is-
Chair and Commission, what we're suggesting is that your bylaws should just reference a start time as designated on the official city calendar.
So whatever time
So,
that
to give us a little bit of looseness and depending on what the city council should choose.
sounds good.
Susan, does that mean that if, let's say, everybody on the planning commission, if they couldn't start at 6 and we wanted to keep it at 6:30, but if the city council insisted on a 6 p.m. start time for their meetings, that we would have to fall in line as well?
Chair and Commissioner Sewell, no, Chair Sewell and Commissioners, the City Council adopts the official city calendar. So if they adopt an official city calendar that says start times are at 6 p.m., then that's this official start time for the commissions.
But if they adopt a city calendar that says start times are negotiable by commission, then it can be
Correct.
negotiable.
Correct.
Okay.
Maybe that's something if, I don't know if you want to or they want feedback from the commissions on.
Absolutely.
Maybe that
Happy
would
to
be
take
helpful.
feedback. Yep.
I don't know. Again, because we probably all don't align 100%, but we will at some point have to agree. So, and I think if we have feedback,
I would
Share with Ms. Thomas, if you
Chair,
can bring
Chair
that back
Sewell,
to the
I would
council.
love to take feedback
Perfect.
and present that to the council. Certainly.
so at least we can have a say in it, if nothing else. Not that we'll all get our way, but good to have a say. Any questions, comments? All right. I don't think we need to take any formal action. Oh, no, we do. We have to adopt the amendment. So would someone like to make a motion to adopt the amendment to the Planning Commission bylaws?
I will make that motion.
Motion Hanson.
I'll second.
Second Banks. Staff, please poll the commission.
Henry,
Yes.
Maxwell,
Yes.
Minion,
Yes.
Waterman,
Yes.
Banks,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Sewell.
Yes, motion carries. And this is a final decision. And then moving on to item number 10, which is adjournment. Someone like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion Waterman.
I'll second.
Second Hanson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Good night.